Will the Committee of Supply please come to order? This section of the Committee of Supply will now consider the estimates of the Department of Public Service Delivery. Does the Honourable Minister have an opening statement?
Yes, I do.
The Honourable Minister is done.
Thank you, Honorable Chair, and good afternoon, everyone. Before I provide the 2025-26 budget highlight for the public service delivery, I want to thank my staff for their effort and hard work during the 2025-2026 budgeting process. I'm incredibly proud to be part of the government that is committed to building One Manitoba. From day one, our government has focused on bringing Manitobans together. Now more than ever, being One Manitoba is crucial. We have been listening to Manitobans, and we have heard them loud and clear. They want action on affordability, on healthcare, on education, and on protecting our economy from forces outside our borders that threatens jobs, supply chains, and our local economy. That's why our government is taking bold action. We are building Trump-proof economy, one that protects Manitoba jobs, strengthening our industries, and puts Manitobans first. Our government is standing up for workers, businesses, and our economy. We are standing up for Manitobans. We are standing up for Canadians. With Bill 42, we are putting Manitoba and Canada first, requiring public procurement to prioritize Canada-made goods and services. My department, Public Service Delivery, serve as a central service delivery organization that supports many departments within Manitoba government. We are responsible for managing government's vertical and underground capital infrastructure through capital planning, project delivery, and asset management. Modernizing centralized government services, including procurement, and providing frontline services to Manitobans through our Consumer Protection Division program, where we administer key legislation, resolve dispute, and ensure fair practices across various sectors. The department also investigate, mediate, and adjudicate dispute between tenants and landlords through the Residential Tenancies Branch and Residential Tenancies Commission. We assist complainants in appealing internal review of office decision of the Manitoba Public Insurance Corporation through an Automobile Injury Compensation Appeal Commission. We administer bereavement legislation. We oversee land title and personal property registrars. And we register life events, issue of variety of foundational certificates, including birth, marriage, death certificates through the Vital Statistics Branch, which I am proud that we have restaffed after former government's cuts. Our government has committed to maintaining capital investment within balanced budget. I'm incredibly proud of the budget 2025 that our Minister of Finance has introduced and truly reflect our government's commitment to building Manitoba. This is a historic budget, investing a record-breaking $3.7 billion in capital projects. That means more jobs, better infrastructure, and stronger economy for our province. We are going to build. As centralized capital project delivery agent for 8 client departments, PSD will work with our colleagues to plan and deliver on the following capital projects. Building 11 new schools so kids get the attention they need to learn. Building more affordable and social housing to end chronic homelessness. Building Dauphin Center for Justice, a facility that will be tailored to the needs of the community. My PSD team and I are working across government to deliver on our commitment. We have invested $105 $1.4 million for PST's capital project in 2025-2026. The majority of these funds are directed to project in asset management, fleet management services, formerly Vehicle and Equipment Management Agency. Our capital investment reflect items from our mandate letter and include the following highlights. Continue to build and maintain over 340 government buildings to ensure they are safe and functional for occupants and public, and restoring and preserving, updating the legislative building. Additionally, we have invested $1.1 million to establish a base operating funding for Manitoba Emergency Response Warehouse in our procurement and supply chain area. This will ensure an adequate supply of equipment to protect our frontline workers and all Manitobans. PST will remain dedicated in effort to make a better life for all Manitobans by delivering capital priorities and programs within a balanced budget and ensure Manitobans are supported with fair, transparent, and efficient services. I'm so proud to be part of the government that is bringing people together, not dividing them. A government that builds, not cut, that hires, not fires. And I look forward to the work we are doing to implement Budget 2025 and building one Manitoba for our future generation. Thank you, Honorable Chair.
We thank the minister for those comments. Does the critic of the official opposition have an opening statement? The honourable member for Borderland.
Thanks, Chair, and I just want to say I'm glad to be here. Glad to be able to have the opportunity to ask the minister and department staff, through the minister, questions of the Department of Public Service Delivery, which is an important department. I recall working with a colleague who was the Minister for Consumer Protection and Government Services, as it was then called, and he said that it's a department that's responsible for everything and gets none of the credit. So it's an important department. So I'm glad to be here and to have the opportunity to ask some questions and look forward to the next couple of hours. Thank you.
We thank the member. Under Manitoba practice, debate on the minister's salary is the last item considered for a department in the Committee of Supply. Accordingly, we shall now defer consideration of line item 8.1A contained in Resolution 8.1. At this time, we invite the minister's staff to join us at the table, and we ask that the minister introduce the staff in attendance. The Honorable Minister.
Yes, I have with me Deputy Minister Joseph Danford, Financial and Strategic Management Division Assistant Deputy Minister Jason Press, Consumer Protection Assistant Deputy Minister Catherine Durkin Chudd, and I have my Doma Julia Anthonation.
We thank the minister. According to our Rule 7816, during the consideration of departmental estimates, questioning for each department shall proceed in a global manner, with questions put separately on all resolutions once the official opposition critic indicates the questioning has concluded. The floor is now open for questions. The Honorable Member for Borderland.
Thank you, Chair. I'd like to ask the minister what political staff work out of the minister's office or within his purview.
The Honorable Minister.
I have two staff member, political staff member, one executive assistant, Deepmala Sahu, and second one is the Director of Ministerial Affairs, Julia Anthonation.
The Honorable Member for Borderland.
I thank the minister for that. I'm wondering if I could get a breakdown of their salaries as well as what pay scale they are on.
The Honorable Minister.
So the first one is Julia Anthonyson is appointed to the position of Director of Ministerial Affairs within the classification of Senior Officer 7, within the salary range of $130,198 to $156,562 per year, effective and where applicable, a long service step to $159,683. Starting salary is $130,198, effective April 2nd, 2024, with the term and condition set out in an employment agreement. Second one is Deepmala Sahu is appointed to a position of Executive Assistant within the classification of Executive Assistant to the Minister, within the salary range of $62,162 to $74,253 per year, and where applicable, a long service step to $75,766. The starting salary is $64,021, effective October 18, 2023, with a term and condition as set out in an employment agreement.
The Honorable Member for Borderland.
Does the minister have any staff who are on secondment?
The Honorable Minister.
Can the member clarify what he was asking for?
The Honorable Member for Borderland.
Just wondering about staff who have possibly, or if there are any who have been deployed to work in other offices or in other positions within government.
The Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Chair. There are no commandants of political staff in my department.
The Honorable Member for Borderland.
Sure. Thank you, Chair, and I thank the minister for that. Can the minister Can the minister explain the duties of their political staff?
The Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. My political staff support me in many capacities, for example, accompanying me to the events, review correspondence, attend meeting, and communicate with the stakeholders. Most importantly, they help me to deliver on the mandate given to me by the Premier. This include building schools. We will be building 11 new schools this year. I really love to find out where those schools will be going. Devonshire Park, Prairie Point, Meadowland, Brandon West, a new French school in Brandon, St. Anne's Regional High School, Brisbane Lake School, Neepawa Regional High School, Highland Point School, Winnipeg North West High School, a new French school in Winnipeg. And we are also building, this year spending $3.7 billion on our capital. We'll be building new personal care homes. So this is a part of where my political staff usually help me with this. Thank you.
The Honorable Member for Borderland.
Are there any staff within the Minister's Department who have taken severance? And what are, within the last year, and what are the severance terms?
The Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Can the member be more specific? Are the member referring to executive level services? What year of services is overall in our department?
The Honorable Member for Borderland.
Sure, thanks, Chair. Just broadly within the department, is there anyone that has been, I guess, fired or laid off, who's taken severance?
The Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. In my department, Public Service Delivery, we had 911 staff members. Government has a regular staff turnover. Any servants that servants for those that has left would be delivered through their collective agreement that is with the Public Service Delivery. Public Service Commission. So this is again 911 staff members, and we have an agreement with the unions. So any person that is leaving the job or being let go, we are following a collective agreement with that member and with that union through Public Service Commission.
The Honorable Member for Borderland.
Thanks, Chair. What is the current status of the VEMA fleet, and how does it compare to inventory counts from 2 years ago and 5 years ago?
The Honorable Minister.
In 2023, we had 2,614 vehicle, and in 2025, we have a 2,600. Those are light-duty vehicles.
The Honorable Member for Borderland.
I think I heard the minister say those are light-duty vehicles. I guess I'd like to get a breakdown, if I could, of ambulances, trucks, graders, passenger vehicles, and how many of those are rental vehicles, if any?
The Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. So the question that the member asked, there are 2,600 light-duty vehicles. Out of that, 1,400s are trucks, and all other are 1,200 vehicles. And on top of 2,600 light-duty vehicles, we have 204 ambulances.
The Honorable Member for Borderland.
Moving on to procurement, I'm curious, what is the criteria, the formula for procurement? What I guess criteria does the government use when undertaking procurement? I guess there's some sort of a points. How are the points allocated? So on and so forth.
The Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. We have a number of different tools when procuring goods and services, such as the lowest price, tender, request of quotations, request of proposals. For the RFP, we'll ask for mix of technical plus pricing, technical determined by subject matter expert requirement, total score, technical plus pricing determined by outcome.
The Honorable Member for Borderland.
Yeah, has the department undertaken any policy changes with regard to Buy Canadian? There's a legislation that came forward, of course, being in the middle of a trade war, tariff uncertainty. It's on one day, off the next, but at the end of the day, it's the uncertainty that's crippling, and I think brought into focus the importance of supporting local businesses and local enterprise. And is there what steps has the department taken to Buy Canadian and Buy Manitoban? And can the minister provide any tangible examples?
The Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Canada and Manitoba are navigating an increasingly complex trade landscape as the United States imposed tariffs on Canadian products. In this evolving environment, Manitoba has strategic opportunity to bolster its economic adaptability by diversifying its supplies base and reducing vulnerabilities associated with over-reliance on any single market. In the line with the measure proposed by Canada and other jurisdictions, and within trade agreement obligations, Manitoba plan to leverage procurement to increase participation of Canadian and Manitoban businesses and diversify existing supplier bases. Manitoba is a signatory to various domestic and international trade agreements. The government of Manitoba is working closely with the federal government and other provinces and territories on a common objective in response to unjustified tariff imposed on Canada by the U.S. government. Manitoba is implementing a strategic measure to reduce reliance on U.S. supplies. Bill 42 will enable the development of long-term procurement policy that will increase the participation of Canadian and Manitoban businesses in public procurement, while ensuring a productive and fair collaboration with other trade partners who are also respect trade agreement with Canadian sovereignty. Reduced over-reliance on any single market by fostering a broader, more competitive supply base that ensure supply chain stability. Our government is already using preference clauses to support Canadian companies in procurement. More to come once the Bill 42 passes. So I hope the member will support the bill. And as we have also seen, member was kind of really want to line Canada to become the 51st state, which will never can happen. And member from Midland liked our budget so much, but she have only one concern. You know what? She was really like worried about why Elon Musk wasn't really getting the rebate on EVs. And of course, their new leader thanked Donald Trump for putting a tariff on Canadians. That's hurting our economy, and that's affecting Manitoban jobs. But we will always stand with the Manitoba companies. We will always stand with the Manitoba workers. Yep, thank you.
Before acknowledging the next member, just a reminder that we are not to speak about legislation currently before the House here in estimates. The Honourable Member for Borderland.
Thank you, Chair. The only members of the Manitoba legislature that have given government contracts to American companies in the middle of a trade war are the members of the NDP government. So that's hugely concerning. And perhaps there's something going on there. It's unfortunate as well that there is a delay in implementing a Buy Canadian policy for whatever reason. But, and I was concerned in the minister's remarks that his remarks are more anti-American than they are about pro-Canada, Buy Canada. China has brought in tariffs on Canada that have devastated and are devastating Manitoba's agricultural industry. I think our focus should be, the government's focus, and all across Canada, I think there's an expectation that governments, as Canadians are, support local, support Canadian, and buy Canadian. So I think it's important to set that on the record. I'm wondering if the minister could talk about the procurement modernization project that the department is undertaking, or at least is mentioned on page 8. What is the status of that modernization? Where's the department at?
The Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Our procurement and supply chain is implementing 5I category management in collaboration with the public, with the broader public sector. The division also recently implemented Ariba, a new software which enable end-to-end management of the procurement process, including the necessary approvals. The PSC recently introduced the new procurement administration manual. This was the first major update in 26 years. The new PAM enable modernized procurement process, compliance, improved operational efficiency.
The Honorable Member for Borderland.
Thanks, Chair. And I have the unique opportunity here to ask a very important question, and that is, can the minister tell us when will the Manitoba Legislative Building receive air conditioning?
The Honorable Minister.
Well, thank you, Honorable Chair, and thank you, the member, for that question. And I think member is really looking forward to be having a little bit cooler air in this building. We have really good breeze coming in right now, and it's only 33 plus, I think, today. So which is 37. It's 37, not bad. Well, we are currently undergoing a master planning exercise for the legislature building, which will look at all of the building system for the people's building. You know what, as Premier has said so many times, this is a people's building. Our priority is always keeping people's building up to date, you know, and for generations to come. So we are investing $10 million, as you probably see on this side of the building. So that's $10 million under the legislation that where we are spending on the building. But our also number one priority is, you know, it's maybe a little bit uncomfortable for us to sit here, but our priorities are always Manitobans. You know, we want to spend. That's why we are spending historic $3.7 billion on our capital plan, creating over 17,000 jobs, increasing wages by $1.3 billion, and increasing our GDP by $2.3 billion. And we are building 11 new schools, and Seven Oaks School Division here in our neighborhood are getting 3 new schools. Shovels on the ground for Victoria ER, which is very, very important. Under previous government, they closed that ER. And not only that ER, but also at Seven Oaks, which is also in our neighborhood in Northwest Winnipeg. You know, it's not only people from that part of the town were coming to the hospital, they were pretty much coming from like outside the city. And those services were gone. I still remember when I was in opposition, and I still remember asking the minister about cutting the healthcare services in Northwest Winnipeg. All I heard is, no, we didn't close anything. Well, I even offered them a ride to the Seven Oaks Hospital to show them exactly where Seven Oaks Hospital is, or even where Northwest Winnipeg is. And this is where Caldona River East Riding is, where McPhillips Riding is, where the Maples is, where the Burrows is. You know, those ridings got really affected by the healthcare closures. So again, we will always prioritize Manitobans. That's our number one priority. And as you probably have heard from Premier, this is people's building. We will always invest in people's building as well. So make sure they enjoy coming to this building. Thank you.
The Honorable Member for Borderland.
I'll turn the floor over to my colleague, the member for Riding Mountain, for a question.
Thank you.
Sorry to interrupt you. Apparently Hansard didn't hear the recognition. So the Honorable Member for Riding Mountain.
Thank you, Chair, and I'd like to thank my colleague from Borderland for letting me ask this question today. I would like to ask the Minister about another question about the building here as it relates to office space. I hope the Minister is aware that last fall we played musical chairs in the PC caucus with offices in this building. We were told one thing by the NDP caucus chair in terms to move into an office bank. When we moved, we were told another, and we were forced to move back again to offices that we were told we were exiting. Anyways, that's a long story, but so we moved back to the offices like we were told. Now, I appreciate the minister saying this is the people's building, but I would suggest that without 57 MLAs, this building wouldn't exist. The sole reason for this building is to house government and elected officials from across the province. We have a situation where we have one MLA in our caucus that does not have an office with 4 walls and a door. I'd just like to ask the minister if he would consult with his officials here and see if he thinks that that is the way any MLA that was elected by the citizens of Manitoba should be treated, and if he would take immediate action to correct that issue.
The Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I would like to thank the staff in the department who work hard to manage the building. This is a people's building. It belongs to all Manitobans. I enjoyed welcoming Manitobans here for many events. And I invite Manitobans to please come visit building anytime. As I was speaking at the Turban Day event, it's people's building. They're welcomed anytime to this building. And it feels so good when we see 200, 300, 400 people in the building enjoying, and learning. Especially when I came from India, I never visited this building before. So this is a beautiful building. And there's so many other people that are coming, newcomers to Canada, that really don't know if they can able to access this building, because back home, you are not even allowed to come close to the building. So this is a really, really great opportunity for all newcomers to come visit people's building. And the Premier has said in mandate letter, we want to make sure this is a welcoming place to everyone from all backgrounds. The question clearly showed the priority of the member that side of the house. On this side of the house, we are focused on making life better for Manitoban. Serving the people of province is a sacred duty that I take very seriously. Manitobans can count on our team to focus on what matters. I will also like to let the member know, I want to thank the member for their concern, as he has stated. And even previously, we were doing a throne speech, and I guess member opposite, their priorities was again their office space for themselves, and it wasn't they were raising the concern of Manitobans, they were raising about themselves. So, those entitlements, I guess. The current space allocation is fair. However, we are aware that the building personally need refresh. We will take this into consideration as we are executing our minor renovation into coming months.
The Honorable Member for Riding Mountain.
Thank you, Chair. Well, I thank the minister for his comments, and I appreciate everything he said. My question concerned, does he believe that every elected MLA in the building should have a private office with 4 walls and a door so they can conduct private business with their constituents? That was my question. Didn't really hear an answer to that, except that perhaps they're going to refresh the building in the future. So again, I'll just leave that for now, and hopefully the minister can perhaps talk to his department about that, about installing a wall and a door to ensure our one MLA without a private office has one. So my other question, I guess, is can the minister tell us if any new branches or departments moved into the legislative building following the election in 2023? And if so, has that put a real crimp on the office space that's available and trickled down to the fact that we now have MLAs without private offices where there's new branches and departments in this building? So I guess my question then is there any new branches or departments in this building since the election of 2023?
The honorable member for Riding Mountain.
Well, thank you, Honorable Chair. Due to time constraints, if the minister can't come up with an answer today, could the minister endeavor to take it under advisement, my question under advisement?
Oops, wrong order. The hour being 5 o'clock, will the committee rise?